You settle into your seat, buckle the belt, and the flight attendant begins the safety briefing over the PA. For most of us, those announcements are background noise, a routine script we tune out before the plane even leaves the gate. But look at the physical reality of a commercial flight. You are sitting inside a tightly sealed metal tube, packed shoulder to shoulder with hundreds of strangers, hurtling through the atmosphere at 30,000 feet. In this isolated, highly pressurized environment, communication changes. Words lose their casual, everyday, and become the primary tool for maintaining order among a diverse crowd. Maintaining that order requires managing 4 specific layers of interaction simultaneously. This framework allows a crew to project authority and provide direction without relying solely on the pre-written script. Mastering these layers is how a crew manages the psychological state of the cabin, ensuring the environment remains predictable and secure. We start right at the center with the explicit layer. This is the literal information, the instructions for emergency evacuations or oxygen mask deployment, which requires absolute clarity and conciseness. By stripping away jargon and keeping instructions direct, the crew ensures that critical protocols are understood immediately. This bypasses barriers of age, language, or the sheer noise of a busy cabin. However, clarity doesn't require a robotic delivery. Using a friendly, approachable tone ensures that while the instructions are firm, the passenger feels cared for rather than managed. Establishing this explicit foundation is what prevents minor procedural errors from cascading into general confusion. This directly leads to the second layer, the implicit. This is the nonverbal communication that either validates or undermines the spoken word. If a flight attendant announces that turbulence is normal while their hands are gripping a service cart with white knuckles, the passenger ignores the words. The physical tension tells a different story. When the crew maintains a steady posture and a reassuring nod, they communicate confidence without saying a word. These cues provide the silent authority required to make the spoken instructions believable. The explicit layer provides the facts, but the implicit physical layer carries the weight of assurance. Moving further outward, we now reach the contextual layer. A cabin is a volatile environment, and the crew must constantly shift their communication style to match the current atmosphere. This chart shows how vocal command scales with situational intensity. Helping a nervous flyer requires a soft, gentle tone. But if a medical emergency occurs, the crew must shift to a loud, assertive volume to immediately organize the surrounding passengers. Proficiency is defined by the ability to recognize these shifts and instantly slide across the spectrum of tone and formality as the environment demands. This adaptability ensures the flight attendant remains the recognized leader of the space, regardless of how quickly the situation changes. The final layer is the emotional one. In this context, empathy is not about solving a passenger's personal problems, but about validating their discomfort so they feel seen within the group. This vital layer requires a strategic patience. Giving a struggling passenger the time to express their frustration can diffuse a situation that might otherwise escalate into a conflict. The true difficulty lies in the balance. The crew must offer this support while maintaining the boundaries necessary to keep the flight on schedule and under control. This emotional intelligence de-escalates tension and fosters mutual respect between the crew and the cabin. Clarity, nonverbal presence, adaptability, and empathy. These 4 distinct elements must function as a single, continuous system throughout the flight. This integration is what transforms the role of the crew from service providers into the operational leaders of the aircraft. Their mastery of these layers changes the passenger experience, turning a high-altitude, confined space into a secure and orderly journey. Every interaction, from a meal service to a safety warning, is an opportunity to engage, connect, and protect the human beings on board. This specific psychological framework is the core mechanism that keeps the cabin environment stable and secure from takeoff to touchdown.